welcome back everyone. Okay, so tonight we are making shepherd's pie, or truly, in all honesty, it's actually cottage pie. The difference between cottage pie and shepherd's pie is shepherd's pie uses lamb mince, cottage pie uses beef mince, and so we're using ground beef tonight. So technically it is cottage pie. Okay, so what we're going to do, what I've already done is I've already peeled and cut up my carrots, or sorry, my potatoes. They're in some water boiling so that we can mash them. I've been warming up my pan so that I can throw the hamburger in there. Okay, just going to rip that off. So I've got about a kilogram of ground beef there. And as you can see, I've already prepped everything to make it easier to cook tonight. So now that my pan has warmed up a bit, I'm going to throw some olive oil in there. And now I'm going to throw my ground beef in there. And we're going to let those cook for a few minutes, and then I'm going to mince them up. So while that's cooking, I'll go over what we have here tonight. So we have one large onion and carrot. I shredded them both. Tip for doing the onion: if you are going to shred it, make sure that you do leave the root on. You will cry even with the root on, but make sure you do leave the root on. And I used the large shredder for the onion, the small shredder for the carrot. Gordon Ramsay's recipe does call for red wine. Because we don't drink alcohol in this house, and I do use it very, very rarely. In some cases I'll use like a red wine vinegar or something like that, but I'm just going to use regular beef stock. So I've got a cup of beef stock. I also have 1 cup of chicken stock. I made both of these myself with the better than bouillon bases. I also have 2 egg yolks, just the yolk. I've grated up some Parmesan cheese. It calls for about 6 tablespoons. This is probably closer to about half a cup. That's fine. Can never go wrong with cheese. Here I have some dry rosemary and thyme. So I've got basically a little bit of a bigger pinch of the rosemary and 2 bigger pinches of the thyme. We're going to also use some tomato paste. We're just going to use about 1.5 tablespoons of this tomato paste, some Worcester sauce, and some whipping cream for the potatoes, and also some garlic. Okay, this is just my homemade garlic that we've got here. Now we're going to come and we're going to smash up the burger a bit, the hamburger a bit. I'm gonna let that cook some more. Something I want to show that I think is really, really cute, just because, well, it's cute and adorable, and I've been using it all year long. It is Christmas spoon holder, utensil holder for when you're cooking, but I don't care. It's cute, adorable, and I'm going to use it all year long because, well, I love Christmas. So I bought that at Walmart last year. I don't know, maybe they'll have them again this year. But what I'm going to do is we're going to continue to cook up the ground beef. Once it's ready, then we will come back and continue. I will see you shortly. So my hamburger is almost cooked. I'm just draining out some of the grease. I'm not going to drain it all. It's mostly, it's extra lean ground beef as it is, so I don't need to drain a lot, but I will drain some of it. Okay, so now as you can see, there we go. Now, while it was cooking, after I had minced it up somewhat, I added some salt and pepper to it. So I did season it with some salt and pepper. Okay, now we're going to add our carrots and onions. And we're also going to add a little bit of our garlic there. A nice, decent sized scoop of garlic. Throw that in there. And now we're going to mix it all together. And we're going to cook up the onion and the carrot a little bit. Okay, once this is cooked up a little bit, I will come back and we will continue on what to do next. I will see you shortly. Okay, and as you can see, my carrots and onions have softened and cooked for a little bit. Okay, now we're going to add in our spices, which as I mentioned was 2 larger pinches of thyme and 1 larger pinch of rosemary. We're going to add in about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. We're going to use that much. Maybe a little bit more. And we're also going to throw some Worcester in there. Okay. About that much should do. Now we're going to mix it all up. I love the smell of Worcester. We lost a couple carrots. We'll throw those back in there. Oh, and we also lost some ground beef. Okay. See a bit of a larger piece of garlic in there. I'm just going to throw that out just because I don't want the larger pieces of garlic in there. Okay. Now we're going to let this cook and have the flavors incorporate for a couple more minutes. So I will be back in just a couple more minutes. Okay, so that's cooked for a couple of minutes just to incorporate all the flavors. Now we're going to add in our 1 cup of beef stock. Just going to add in a little bit more just because so much of the beef flavoring was still left at the bottom. There's only a couple of tablespoons more that I added, more of the water that I added to my measuring cup. Now we're going to turn this up a little bit because we are going to let this reduce. It won't take long to reduce. Now while that is going on, as you can see here, I have been cooking my potatoes. And they are fork tender. So now we're going to turn that heat off and we are going to drain our potatoes. So I'm just going to take a little strainer over here and drain them. Going to put those there for a few minutes. And just stir these. Okay, just going to continue letting those evaporate. That is evaporating. We are going to mash our potatoes. So first you want to go in there a little bit and mash them up a little bit. And use whatever kind of potatoes you want. I'm using the yellow golden ones right here. It's about 2.5, maybe 3 pounds of potatoes I've got here. Okay. Now we're going to add in some butter. I'm going to add in a nice dollop of butter, a few tablespoons there. Mix it up a little bit more. So the butter has been mixed in well. Now we're going to add in some cream. That should do it. That's probably about 1/4 cup of cream. As you guys know, I like to do a lot of eyeballing. So while I am for the most part following Gordon Ramsay's recipe, I am also making it my own. Okay. There we go. My mashed potatoes are ready. And my ground beef, or the beef stock here, just needs a little bit more time to reduce. Once it has reduced, I will come back. I will see you in a few. Okay, so my ground beef has reduced quite a bit. The beef stock. Now we're going to add in our chicken stock. Okay. We're going to mix that in. And now we're going to give it a taste just to see how it tastes, to see if we need to add in any more salt and pepper. And we're going to let this boil and thicken up some more as well. Nope, now that tastes really, really good. So now I'm going to add my egg and a little bit of this cheese. I'd say about half of this cheese into these potatoes, and we're going to mix them up. Okay, now these are ready to go onto the ground beef, onion, and carrot mixture once this is ready. So we're going to let this boil up some more and thicken, and once that's done that, then we will come back and we will put the actual shepherd's pie together. I will see you shortly. Okay, now my ground beef is ready. So as you can see, that the chicken stock did evaporate and it did thicken up. If you need to add anything to help it thicken up, you can add cornstarch. Just take a little bit of the liquid out of the mixture, add a little bit of cornstarch, mix it up, make sure there's no clumps, and then add it back into the pot, and it will thicken up rather quickly and rather nicely. Okay, so now we've done that. Now we're going to take our potatoes, we're We're going to spread these on here. So I'm just going to I'm going to pop these on here, and then I'm going to spread it around, and I may need to use my hands a little bit to help spread it around, but that's fine. As you can tell, these are still warm. That's not going to work very well. I will use a spoon, but I don't think it's going to do too well because it's, as you can see, the mixture wants to come up. But because these potatoes are still really hot, it's a little harder to use my hands. So I'm just going to have them spread on there. It's not going to, I'm not going to cover the whole pan, but they are spread out so that when people do dig in, that they will get a bunch of the potatoes as well. Now we're going to take the rest of the Parmesan cheese, sprinkle it on top. And we're going to fluff up our potatoes a little bit as well. And this will just help with the browning. You'll notice that some of the tips will be browned a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to take this and throw it into our oven. My oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, and we're going to leave that in there for about 20-25 minutes. I will be back shortly when that is ready. Okay, so as everyone can see, I've taken my shepherd's pie out of the oven, and now we're just going to scoop some of this out and pop it onto a plate. Okay, so it's got a little bit of gravy in there. Mashed potatoes. There you go. Just like that. All right. Well, thank you. Have a good night and enjoy.